Yamaha's most adventure-ready bike, the Legend T7, has finally arrived in Brazil after a long wait. But is it worth it, or did it arrive too late? This is the only video you need to watch to know everything about it. Technical features, performance in the city, on the road, off-road, fuel consumption, insurance costs, maintenance costs, and its price. And of course, my honest opinion with the pros and cons so you can make the best purchase decision. I'm Amanda Pagliari, and this is the most charming motorcycle channel in Brazil, which also brings you the most complete motorcycle reviews on the internet. Please like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on new videos. The name Tenere means solitude or desert in the language of the Tuareg nomads, referring to a part of the Sahara. And this name was used by Yamaha for the first time in 1983 with the legendary XT600Z Tenere, which was inspired by the bikes that dominated the Paris-Dakar rally. In short, a motorcycle designed for extreme off-road and to take on the Dakar rally. And then we have the design, with that look I call Dakar style, a thick neck, characteristic of competition bikes, especially for the rally. There's an overseas version of the Tenere with two tanks, okay? It's actually widely used in the rally. Why? Because if you drop the bike and damage one tank, you can still use the other. That's a good thing. But here in the Brazilian version, we don't have it, okay? The Tenere with two tanks, but we still have that very distinctive look. Do you like this look? Comment below. The T7's lighting is full LED, so we have headlights, turn signals, and also LED tail light. An interesting detail here at the front in the headlight assembly is the quad headlight setup. There are four big lights here, and if you notice, there's a Y shape, right? Making a reference to Yamaha's Y. Staying true to its purpose, we have a fixed low windshield, right? It's meant for you to use off-road. It's not designed to be a touring bike. And here the tail is really slim, okay? Basically for solo riding. And what surprised me the most was the finish. Here on the T7 you can see the premium finish, the paint details. It's really a bike with high quality finish. Who is the T7 for? Well, it's a motorcycle designed for off-road riding. In my opinion, it's not for doing motocross, trail riding, or jumping around. You could do it though. But it's more for someone who will ride in places like Canastra, take a trail, or go up to the base of a waterfall. This bike with a skilled rider could do it, though I couldn't. Could you? Let me know below. Not Amandinha, but a pro rider will be able to get the most out of this motorcycle, right? But it's not meant to be a touring bike. So forget about riding in comfort or taking a passenger here. This bike isn't for you, okay? This is more for you to have fun off-road, to enjoy yourself. It's a bike, an adult toy, right? For you to be able to handle it off-road. Since it comes with all these features of a bike that's more focused on off-road, including the foot pegs. I love this platform here. It's a really wide base. It has these rubber pads that you can remove if you want to use it for extreme off-roading, right? So you don't slip in the mud, for example. It has these little studs here that help give more grip and stability to your boot. Yeah, you can even adjust the brake pedal height here, right? For example, if you're going to ride standing up. Here for the passenger, we have retractable aluminum foot pegs. And the accessories that come standard with the T7 are handguards, okay? And we also have an aluminum skid plate. Other than that, there aren't any accessories here to protect the engine or your fairing, which is very important. However, Yamaha offers two kits. Actually, they're accessories so you can equip your T7 with different options. One is for riding more off-road, and the other is for you to go on more on-road touring adventures, let's say. The touring pack includes a luggage rack, a top case base, and a 42-liter rear top case, a fairing guard, and a lower engine guard. And at the time of the launch, it was priced at 7,526 reais. And the Explorer pack includes side supports, a set of side cases, 37 liters each, a fairing guard, and a lower engine guard. And at the time of the launch, the suggested price was 10,302 reais. And if you want to equip your T7 with quality products, my tip is to get scam accessories. Because besides quality and durability, they have several accessories for you to equip and protect your T7, like the side stand enlarger for the kickstand, mudguard, anti-spray, engine and fairing protector, license plate reinforcement, side case support and also top case support, and headlight protector. Both in steel or polycarbonate, high windshield. Yamaha doesn't have it, huh? Look how cool. And of course, several options for cases in aluminum, right? Both top and side. Keyless cases from the keyless line and also cases from the economy line, as well as injection molded side cases. To check out the entire scam line for your motorcycle, my tip is to click the link in the description or point your phone's camera at the QR code on the screen, and that's it. You can also visit the scam website to find the nearest store and make a purchase. The seat on the T7 is a single piece type. We have two types of textures. On the side, it's smoother, and here in the center, there's a firmer, non-slip texture for both the rider and the passenger. Yes, guys, it's a really narrow, slim seat, even on the fairing. Here you can see that it tapers in. That's exactly to make the bike really narrow. With that, you don't have to spread your legs as much since it's a tall bike, so you can put your feet on the ground more firmly and also ride standing up more easily. The fairing here helps you with that. And the narrow seat, right, designed for an off-road bike, that's the kind of seat you have here. I'm going to get on here so you can see. And the seat to the ground is 87.5 centimeters high. Look at that. I'm 177 centimeters tall. I can put both feet on the ground, but not completely, okay? Just a little bit on the tip like this. I can put about 80% of my feet down. The thing is, the foot peg here is right where my legs are, so I have to choose whether I put my foot more to the back or to the front. Otherwise, I'll end up hitting it and banging my shins, unfortunately. But that's it. That's the bike's design. So the whole riding position here is centered. So you ride here with your legs bent. The bike is comfortable overall. And my arms are very comfortable too, okay? You can even add a riser, right, to raise the handlebars and adjust them so you can get better use out of the motorcycle, both sitting and standing. Here's the passenger seat. I'll get on the back so you can see. Yeah, there really isn't much. There's not even anywhere for the passenger to hold on. You have to hold on to the rider. There's no other way, okay? This motorcycle isn't designed for carrying a passenger, just a little spoiler to address any negatives up front. But what really stands out about this motorcycle is how good it is to ride standing up. Because on dirt, you need to have control over the motorcycle. So that's why I told you, right? The foot pegs are really well centered, so you can have control even on dirt. You ride more standing up than sitting down. And I think it was one of the best motorcycles for riding standing up, at least for me, of course. Each person needs to go to the dealership, get on the bike, even do a test ride if possible, so that the motorcycle really fits each person. For my build, for my measurements, the motorcycle fit me very well, especially when riding standing up. In general, it's a compact, lightweight motorcycle designed for off-road use. Altogether, it weighs 208 kilograms, including the fluids, and the fuel tank holds 16.2 liters of gasoline. On the front suspension, we have an inverted telescopic fork, gold-colored, very beautiful, from Kayaba, with 200 millimeters of travel, fully adjustable manually. And on the rear, we have a monocross shock absorber, also with a Kayaba linkage, with 200 millimeters of travel, with a piggyback reservoir, also fully adjustable. An interesting detail is that to adjust the preload, you just need to turn this knob here. It's very easy. For the brakes, we have dual discs at the front with 282 millimeters in diameter, and at the rear, a single disc with 245 millimeters with calipers from Brembo. And it comes with an anti-lock braking system, ABS, on both wheels. And the interesting detail is that besides being able to turn it off on the rear wheel, you can also turn off the ABS on the front wheel. The wheels are spoked and gold-colored, very beautiful in my opinion. In the front, 21-inch rim in the rear, 18-inch rim, Michelin Anarchy Adventure tires. Just a detail, guys, spoked wheels with inner tubes, okay? They're not tubeless. And the heart of the T7 is a 689cc twin-cylinder engine with liquid cooling, and the CP2 technology here from Yamaha. And in Brazil, this engine delivers 68.9 maximum horsepower and 6.6 kilogram force meters of torque at 6,500 RPM. And yes, the Brazilian version has fewer horsepower than the European version. Due to Brazil's emissions and noise regulations, the Promot is from here in Brazil, okay? Yeah, it comes with an electronic throttle, which is really cool, and it has 6 gears and chain final drive. On the control panel on the right side, we have the mode button and also here to cut power to the engine and ignition. The front brake lever here has reach adjustment. Now here on the left side, we have a 5-way joystick to navigate the dashboard and also the home and back buttons here. Here we have the turn signals, right? They're a bit unusual here. The right one is a little bigger. Down here, there's the horn and also the hazard lights. And back here, we have the high beam button and also the flash to pass switch. The clutch lever lacks reach adjustment. The dashboard is vertical, a 6.3-inch color TFT screen. It's interesting that you have 2 views, 2 themes, right? And here, I'll select it for you. It's on street, but you can switch to the Explorer theme, which is basically a simpler theme. Here you have the tachometer, RPMs. You'll still get the speedometer, gear indicator, and here the clear information about the traction control, and down here the onboard computer information. But to show you the features, I'll leave it on street here, which I prefer, okay? And down here we have the onboard computer information. So for example, air temperature, total odometer. We also have the partial odometer, trip 1 and trip 2, which we can also see. Yes, the consumption, both instant and average, is shown here according to the trips, right? And we don't have any range information. Only when it hits reserve does it start to show the kilometers. Here is the fuel gauge, engine temperature. On the other side, the speedometer is centered, and here is the tachometer, and in the middle, the gear indicator. We have several settings here on the dashboard, right? So here you have service information, measurements. If you want to change, right, to miles or kilometers, you can adjust the dashboard brightness here and the clock, okay? You can reset everything, and you can also add the quick shifter, right, which comes here as an accessory. Okay? It doesn't come as standard. It's interesting that you also have connectivity with your cell phone through the Yamaha app. So you can, for example, if you select music, right, have turn-by-turn navigation, answer calls, everything directly on the dashboard. It's really interesting. On the right button mode, you have access to the traction control information. Here on the side of the dashboard, we have a big button that says ABS. It's a physical button, let's say, right? And it works a lot like a shortcut, so you can set up the information you want for traction control and ABS, okay? Let me just take this off here just so you can see. If I press here, it's telling me that the rear wheel ABS is off, okay? That's it. It's not telling me anything about traction control. The rear wheel ABS is off and traction control is also off. Now let me press here again to exit. To exit, just hold it down again. Ain't you? It will exit. I wanted to show you. Here's a tip. It's a shortcut. You will select here and I will turn the traction control off. And now I will set the ABS for the rear wheel and the front wheel. I've selected it, done. What will happen now? I'm going to turn it on again here. And look, it already updated. ABS off, traction control 2, and here ABS on both wheels. So how can you use this button easily? You choose if you want only traction control or only ABS, then you set it up and leave this button pre-configured. And look, let me even restart the bike so you can see if it's saved or not. Now we've turned on the motorcycle here. And look, it's saved. So I don't recommend leaving it with the front ABS turned off, but that's up to you, okay? So this button here is really cool because of that. And now that I've already shown you everything about the T7, it's time to ride it through the streets of São Paulo, hit the road, and even do a little off-roading. If you're enjoying the video so far, how about leaving a like, huh? You motivate me to make more videos like this, and if you think I deserve it at the end, subscribe to the channel. Now hop on and ride with me. Wow, a nice wide gap here for the T7. Let me through, sir. I know lane splitting on the T7 isn't really its natural habitat, but I need to get home. And I got the T7 here in São Paulo, so I need to ride. And a lot of people too, to get to the highway, to get to Canastra, will have to go through traffic jams many times, right? This bike here has a lot of torque. It's a delight to ride. I think what surprises me the most about this bike is how light it is. And look how beautiful the dashboard is here, see, in the dark at night. What really surprises me is how light it is. Oh, so an extremely light and agile motorcycle, considering the engine it's got, because this thing is a rocket. So you say, wow, it's really powerful for its build, you know. There are other light motorcycles too, like the Crosser. It's light, but when you accelerate, it doesn't give you everything that the T7 gives you, right? So I like the whoa, wow, almost. I like almost. I like the Torque here. I found it really interesting. Soon I'll be riding on the road and I'll let you know. But I already know right away that all the wind is going to hit my face. I know. Wow, I was pleasantly surprised here in the city. I thought it would be a hassle to ride among the cars, but it wasn't. Because it's tall and kind of goes over everything, you know, you just go no matter how many cars there are. And since it's really slim, like really skinny. Wow, and also the way it handles, which is really good, right? You don't even feel it. But that's it, guys. Here in the city, it's not her natural environment, but she surprised me in a good way. Let's go take the T7 out on the road. Out here on the road, all the wind hits your helmet, unfortunately. Wow, guys, I don't even feel like speeding up, you know? Wow. If I lower myself here, it improves a bit. But honestly, I don't even feel like it to speed up because all the wind hits my chest, my God. Wow, oh my. Oh, no. Also, yeah, if you go too fast, it starts to wobble a bit. I didn't even push it further to see how much it would wobble, but I could already feel the handlebar getting a little unstable. Even on smooth asphalt, I thought, better take it easy and slow down, right? I gripped the tank with my legs and tried to steady myself. Let me tell you something, I thought that on the road, what would bother me the most would be the hard seat. But no, it was the windscreen. The faster you go, the more turbulence there is. It's really annoying. But the seat, it is hard, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. After about 50 kilometers of riding, you'll feel it. It's not a touring seat, okay? You can buy a better seat or a cover on the market. But just know that it will get in your way off-road. For off-road, the seat is narrow, hard, like a little board. If you're using it for touring, then you need a better seat. But you'll see. Yeah, I think this bike is really cool for what it's meant for. It finally came to Brazil. Yeah, I know it's not a bike for traveling, but until you get to Canastra, until you get to the mountains, until you get to the dirt, right? You'll need to hit the road. And many times it's about 300 or 400 kilometers, depending on where you live, where you're going. And then it ends up being really uncomfortable. And of course, it's got mixed-use tires, right? So it's not a good idea to lean into curves like there's no tomorrow because of the tire's grip. But the bike really helps you a lot. So for those who like curves and all that, you'll enjoy this bike. But its main focus, of course, is off-road. And soon I'll be riding it off-road, so no, stay tuned. Let's hit the dirt here with the T7. Well, one cool thing is the standing riding position. It's perfect for you to ride standing up. We can't deny that. It's more enjoyable to ride standing up than sitting down. Yeah, guys, this bike is a lot of fun, hee hee. Definitely for riding on dirt. For people who like that style, who enjoy opening it up, hitting a dirt road and having fun with friends. I still don't think it's a bike for trail riding because it's still a heavy bike, right? But we can do it, right? It's a big trail bike that you can travel on and also go on adventures, getting right up to a waterfall. That's really good. But that's it, guys. Now let's wrap up the video with the pros and cons. When it comes to fuel consumption, we know that the more you accelerate, the more it's going to use. There's no way around it. With me, mixing city and highway driving, accelerating all the way, it got 18 kilometers per liter. Of course, when I was flooring it, the consumption dropped to almost 9 or 10. And in some mountain stretches, when I wasn't pushing the bike, it got around 20. But now I want to hear from you. Do you have a T7? What kind of fuel consumption do you get with it? Write it here in the comments. And the T7, is it targeted for theft? Well, it's a big trail bike, so it doesn't matter. Get insurance. After all, criminals aren't letting anything slide. So my tip is for you to get insurance with protection. Why? Because they're 100% digital plus. They have the cheapest insurance in Brazil. The price comes out. And right away, there's none of that bureaucracy or delay. You can find out the insurance price for your profile, okay? Just click the link in the description, scan the QR code on the screen with your phone's camera, and you're done. I just got a quote here. I got a quote for a man, 41 years old, with the zip code from Mogi das Cruzes, where I live right now, okay? And several insurance options came up from companies registered with SUSEP. For example, for theft and robbery coverage here, the price dropped from 817 reais to 618 reais. With my discount coupon, you can pay this annual amount in installments, okay? You get 100% FIP compensation, you have theft and robbery coverage, right? Of course. 24-hour towing, 200 kilometers and no deductible. So Amanda, do you want a more comprehensive insurance with fairing coverage and all that? Well, then you choose the insurance that best fits your profile. After all, it can vary from city to city and even by age. Just as an example here, entering the zip code for Curitiba, since we have a lot of followers from Curitiba, shout out to Curitiba, take a look. The same profile, okay, a 41-year-old man came up here, look. You have full coverage, okay, from Porto Seguro, already with my discount coupon for 1,808 reais and 79 cents. Look how cool that is. No deductible, right? Theft and robbery. Total loss due to collision, third-party damages, and also assistance up to 300 kilometers. So it's worth getting a quote for your profile. And with Protect, there's no bureaucracy. Click, get a quote, done. And now I'm going to talk about the positive and negative points, in my opinion, here about the T7. Of course, Mandinha doesn't have a monopoly on the truth. You have every right to agree, disagree, or even add your own thoughts, as long as you use the comments respectfully, okay? Well, the first positive point here is the design. What a beautiful bike. And look, Mandinha here isn't really a fan of the Dakar-inspired style, no. It may have a long front end, but this one looks beautiful, right? It's even prettier in this color. I'll tell you the available colors in a moment, okay? But this one is my favorite color. Favorite. A positive point is the finish. Superior premium finish. So that's really cool. And another interesting thing is the dashboard. So we have a really complete, beautiful dashboard, right? That vertical dashboard there, which reminds you of the instrument setups you see in the Dakar Rally, right? It even has that little navigation sheet, which is really interesting, so that's a positive point. And of course, connectivity. Okay, you don't have maps mirrored directly there, but you do have turn-by-turn navigation, which is better than nothing. Plus, there's connectivity, right, with call information, music, so that's a positive point. Suspension is another positive point. The bike is ready for off-road. That's really good. And riding while standing up, guys. The bike is really made for off-road, for riding while standing up. So for sure, anyone who rides this bike here won't have any trouble at all. So this isn't just off-road styling, no, this is real hardcore off-road. And guys, it might seem silly, but this foot peg here really helps a lot. It brings safety, it makes riding easier. So that's a positive point. The headlight is another positive point because besides being authentic and beautiful, it lights up really well at night. There are 4 beams of light, right? Basically. The ABS button here, it's a physical button. That's a positive point, it makes our lives easier. This motorcycle is agile, so that's a positive point. It surprised me in the city, riding through traffic. It's a blessing among the cars. So I'll say it's good for the city, yes. Positive point. I know we won't be riding it in the city much. Because it's dangerous, right? Because of crime, at least in São Paulo, but it's good for the city. So positive point. And the last positive point, no less important, is that it got cheaper. We don't usually see that in Brazil, right? But yes, I don't know if the price was really off and then Yamaha corrected it. Anyway, at launch it was over RR 1000. And now, right, now in June 2026, it's cheaper. Now I'm going to talk about the negative points of the T7, starting with the setup. Guys, this here is like an ironing board. It's hard. So I didn't really like it, okay? If you want to travel, you'll definitely have to change it, unfortunately, all right? And I didn't even mention it, but these little hooks here are for you to secure your luggage, okay? If you don't put the accessories here. Otherwise, when you put the accessories, you'll install them right here in this part. And then, speaking of another downside, it's not a good motorcycle for carrying a passenger. So unfortunately, passengers here are going to have a hard time. That's a negative point. Another point. Another negative point is the restricted engine. Unfortunately, because of Brazil's promote emissions and noise regulations, Yamaha had to take away about 4.5 horsepower and a bit of torque. And a lot of people ended up thinking that was bad. And okay, you can definitely remap it, but you also have the issue of losing your warranty. So it ends up being a trade-off, right? You either modify the bike and lose the warranty or keep it restricted. Unfortunately, guys, that's a downside. And another thing that Yamaha still hasn't included in this version is cruise control. I know it's a bike more for off-road and all that, but many times, to even get to the dirt, you have to ride many kilometers. That's why I mentioned the seat, right? If you get to Canastra, sometimes you need to ride 300 kilometers, right? And for sure, cruise control here would make a difference. A negative point, something I really didn't like, even worse than the hard seat, was the windscreen. For me, for my height, it threw all the turbulence right at my helmet. It was really unbearable. The more I accelerated, the less I wanted to accelerate. So that's a negative point. It's the turn signal. LED turn signals are a good thing, but the positioning here means if it tips over, it brakes. Unfortunately, this type of bike can tip over easily. So I thought the turn signal here is very poorly positioned. Negative point. One thing that's missing is a steering damper. Okay, since it's a 21-inch wheel on the road, there will be a little turbulence, but I noticed that above 150, the bike was already wobbling. So maybe in the future, or you can add it yourself, right, to be safer. Tires with inner tubes, that's a downside. Unfortunately, I know that for off-road, there are people who say that using inner tubes is much better and all that, but I know Brazilians prefer tubeless, so that's a downside. Another thing that was missing for me and that I actually needed to use was range information. That wasn't on the dashboard. The motorcycle was new, so I didn't know its fuel consumption yet, and it's very dynamic. Accelerating a lot uses more fuel. So I felt very insecure because of the gas stations, so I thought there was no range information, and unfortunately that information would have been very useful. This might be controversial, but after checking some foreign channels, I reached the same conclusion as them. Some people think that its handling isn't very good, that it doesn't have a very low center of gravity. And I felt that, yeah, in some direction changes, I didn't think its handling was that perfect, or at least I expected better handling. Okay, guys, that's just my opinion, for God's sake. For a pro rider tackling mountains, I think it's great, but that's just my opinion. This is Motoplay, Mandinha's honest take. I felt the handling could be more refined, maybe with a lower center of gravity. And some foreigners also came to the same conclusion as I did, so I'm going to list this as a negative point. And last but not least, which isn't Yamaha's fault or T7's, but it's our country's fault, I need to tell you this because it's very important, especially if you live in dangerous areas like Rio and São Paulo. You'll be walking around with a target on your back. Unfortunately, because people like adventure bikes, that style of motorcycles, so keep that in mind. If you live in Curitiba or in Santa Catarina or in the countryside regions of Brazil, you might not have this problem, but keep this in mind if you live in Rio or São Paulo. Ride in groups or be careful where you go, unfortunately. And now, the million-dollar question, is it worth it? Well, I'll share my opinion, and you can leave yours down below in the comments, especially if you have a T7. I think, well, I expected more. I don't know if it's because everyone spoke so highly of it that I had really high expectations. And then when it arrived, I saw that, okay, it wasn't all that. I expected better handling, or maybe for it to be lighter. It could be lighter. So it didn't really exceed my expectations. I thought it was just okay. So If you're a rider who wants a bike for off-road focused on dirt, you want durability, you want a reliable engine, the tradition of a brand with history like Yamaha, low maintenance, and you don't really care about technology or newer features, then I think yes, it's worth it. And remember, at Anacar, you can buy your T7 or any other Yamaha motorcycle with the best deals. There are several stores ready to serve you at all times with a nice cup of coffee while you work out a deal. They accept your used bike of any brand as part of the payment, easy financing, consortium plans, and much more. Don't close your Yamaha deal before talking to Anacar. Send a message to the phone number on the screen, the QR code, or the link in the description, and negotiate yours right from your phone. They will serve you with great care. Don't forget to mention that you saw it here on the Motoplay channel, because if you're a subscriber, you get special benefits. If you liked the video, leave a like, share it with your friends. The legend is finally in Brazil. Don't forget to share, it's really important for the channel to grow. Let's reach the milestone of 1 million motorcycle enthusiasts. I think the channel's quality deserves it. Your subscription is free, okay? Hey, don't be stingy. Subscribe, okay? If you want to share the channel, it helps me a lot. If you want to subscribe, it helps me a lot too. But if you want to support me even more, you can become a channel member in several ways, contribute different amounts, and even join a VIP group. You get access to Mandinha's WhatsApp. I'll leave the link in the description here for you to become a channel member. But at least subscribing still counts. Let's reach 1 million, okay? I'm counting on your help. Up here I left a really cool video for you, and down here I left the video on the rival Transalp, okay? I wonder how it compares. Watch here to see. See you next time, big kiss.